Welcome to Built to Scale with Anthony Mongeluzo, and I'm your host, Anthony Mongeluzo. Today, we're going to talk about AI in the workplace, what stays human and what gets automated. Now, what I hope you learn from this episode is AI, at least at this stage, is not meant to replace people. What it is meant to do is replace repetitive tasks and other things that can be automated and should be automated. So let's first start talking with where AI belongs and what it should handle. As I mentioned in the intro, repetitive tasks. For instance, if you take an accounting system such as QuickBooks, right? You could look at every transaction. Maybe you have a monthly car payment or a vendor that you pay. QuickBooks has AI and rules to replace those repetitive tasks. Now, I've been doing that for years, but they're definitely more enhanced with automation. Other things, scheduling. In our line of work, tagging tickets, right? And I'm sure in other service industries, we all work off a service ticket. Maybe summarizing emails. Maybe you have a really long email chain that's been going on and you want to catch yourself up. Now, a little pro tip. One of the things that I like to do is I like to ask my AI to go through my email and say, hey, who have I been friendly with over the last 2 years that maybe I haven't talked to them as much so I could give them a call. It will go through my emails and say, hey, you know what, you talked to all these people, but these 8 to 10 people you haven't spoken to in a while. So, you know, it's your supercharger. Predictive systems and alerts and monitoring. Now, I have to say that because we're in the IT industry, but for every business, I'm sure there's some type of notification alert, whether it's a high-profile customer, whether it's a line machine going down, or maybe you're monitoring something for your customers. That should be automated. So, again, the tasks that take up the most amount of your time that really add the least amount of value, that's really where you start to look. And I could tell you from all the businesses that I see, 10 to 15% of the tasks right up front, without much thinking, can be found and can be automated. So in closing to that, AI is not going to take your job, but someone that really knows how to use AI and that human with the AI, they will take your job. So what remains human? So we have some irreplaceable skills. So number one, leadership, right? AI is not going to replace leadership. It's not going to replace empathy and relationship building. You know, there might be a couple people out there making friends with their AI, but I would think in the average company, you know, what they always say, you never leave your job, you leave your boss. So this human relationship, I don't think that's going anywhere anytime soon. And honestly, as we get into a more automated world, the relationships are going to add so much value because we're going to get sick of talking to robots. I don't know how many people enjoy talking to Super Grok or any AI platform that you use, but it's just not the same as breathing the same air as people. So we really have to concentrate on humanity. The second thing, creativity and innovation. The human mind created AI, right? So one thing that gave me a little bit of hope, recently the top chess player took out Chat GPT in a chess match. So it does show that a human can win sometimes. And, again, believing in human creativity, which should be enhanced with AI. Critical thinking and independent thinking. You plug stuff into AI, is it always right? The answer is no. And just like, your biceps, your chest, we go to the gym to work out our body and keep our body strong. I think a lot of people forget that the mind is also a muscle. So by keeping those critical thinking skills, reading, and again, you can't push it away, right? You could say, hey, I'm just going to use my brain and I'll have the strongest brain in all of humanity. That's not going to necessarily help when you have millions of supercomputers thinking all day long. AI can be helpful with this, but at the end of the day, AI doesn't have a gut. So when it comes to strategic decision making, I think it's also very important. Again, you could run your ideas through AI, just like we do with other people, but at the end of the day, you're not going to have the AI make the strategic decision. Lastly, what I'd like to say is in real time, when you're dealing with multiple people, complex troubleshooting with a group team, right? When you have a problem at work, in the office, you might require people from different departments and all have to get together quickly. Again, AI, as in many of the colleges now, all the majors are offering a minor in AI. I'm not saying in that moment don't use it, but don't forget the value of 50, 60, 70, however many years of human experience that you've worked together on these complex problems with clients, with teammates. So AI just scales differently, and really humans, the way they use this, are going to scale the impact. So how are smart companies getting ahead with AI? So number one, they're able to reassign people from low value, repetitive tasks to now more high value work. Maybe that hour or two a day that you save from doing that repetitive task, that could be used to help you train to get to another skill set. Maybe do a little cross-functional training with another team member, so now you can be valuable in another department and a backup there. AI can also be used to help train those employees. There's lots of different learning modules out there, lots of great online courses, and again, now you could use that time to help you grow your brain and your skill set and to become a more productive and more valuable team member. Thirdly, combining AI and really just human recommendations that you'd have. You know, a lot of times here at the office, for almost 20 years now, if I'm going to send an email that has some importance, some significance, I would send it to Tracy, I would send it to Ryan, I would send it to Mark. And you know what? Sometimes I still do that, but now it makes a slight detour. Before I send it to one of them, I send it to AI that knows my writing patterns, knows what I'm looking to say, has been trained by me, and then it goes to them just to make sure that I don't miss something. Another great feature is learning how to use and develop workflows with AI. How do you make one task go into another? One of our clients, I've seen them do something neat where they're actually using Copilot to go through all their emails and organize inboxes based on important, not important priorities. Who's it from? Is it an active project? And it's basically doing, inbox jujitsu, and it's saving one of my friends quite a bit amount of time because he gets overloaded with emails. So the way that smart companies are truly going to get ahead is by eating the elephant. You're going to do this one bite at a time. Make a commitment, whether it's one a week, one every other week. You're going to figure out one function that you can automate. Then you're going to find another and another. Now, for the bonus prize, what you really want to try to do is figure out how maybe a couple of those workflows can waterfall into each other and get processes done. So won't get into specifics here, obviously, because every business is unique. Everyone has different workflows, but really here, just trying to challenge you to see what you could do with technology and with AI. And when you use AI, your team is going to end up becoming an unstoppable force because they're going to be excited. They're going to be motivated because all the boring stuff that they don't want to do, but you need to do, let's let the computers do that. So let me share some real examples in action, and we're going to start here with PCS. So all of our technicians are equipped with AI. Now, we don't have it connected to the live systems because you don't want customer data or anything going to the community. But what they do have is the tools to ask it technical questions to help them resolve tickets more timely. The results have been great. Sales teams, and I could see this, from our partners with us, anywhere else, they can quickly do research on a person. And I'll give you a crazy one. An insurance company was trying to get our business, and they're a big, multi-billion-dollar insurance company. So I'm sure their tools are a little bit better than the average. The guy trying to impress me, which he did, by the way, he sent me a SWOT analysis on PCS from the insurance world and a SWOT analysis on me as a business leader. Was it 100% right? Nope. Was it pretty darn close? A minus, B plus? Absolutely. He said back in the day, he would have to spend a week doing that research to produce the report that he did. He said he hit the button, went to the coffee machine, and came back. So again, it's helping there. I mean, I could tell you with our marketing efforts and HubSpot and all the AI and all the tools there, just saves time. So what I also think is over time, and we use some here, but we're always trying to, as I like to say, get 1% better every day. Leaders are really starting to use AI custom dashboards that in real time, the technology and the systems can learn what you're looking for. And maybe it's different things at different times of the day or different departments. Well, the AI, if you train it properly, and you just use it consistently, it's going to get better and better, just as if you would with a good team member, a good employee, that if you spend time with them and you help them level up, it helps them and it helps the organization. So at the end of the day, and I firmly believe this, organizations that empower their team to use AI, to teach AI, and I'm not going to say run into the burning building, but at least move forward and press forward every day. Those organizations are going to lead. And look, you could either be a Jetson or you could be a Flintstone. I think in this day and age, we want to be a Jetson. So for our final takeaway and looking ahead, AI is transforming jobs. There's no doubt about it. It's changing what we do, but not changing the value of a job. Humans remain the strategic core of every business. They're the most important part. So the question really is now for all of us, and hopefully after listening to this podcast, we know the answer. The question is no longer if AI will change work, but how fast leaders will adopt. So thank you so much for tuning in. It's been another episode of Built to Scale with me, Anthony Mongeluzo. I truly appreciate you watching, listening, and we will be back very soon with more technology, business leadership, and entrepreneurial stories. Thanks so much.